when God had created all the rivers and the oceans and the trees and the mountains, He had planted in the middle a garden. And in this garden were living all the vices and virtues and passions and desires. But amongst them was great silence. When one day, "I am bored!" And everyone looked around and looked at boredom stepping out behind the tree. "I am bored, I'm not going to stand this any longer!" No response. Until imagination jumped in. "I know what! We should play a game. Let's play a game of hide and seek." No response. Because until that day there was no gaming. So imagination had to explain, and it was soon decided that it was Madness' turn to count. So Madness turned around, covered his eyes, and started to count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 30. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 40. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Madness! I don't think you're taking this quite seriously now. Justice. Madness turned around again, covered his eyes, and started to count from 1 to 100. And everyone went off to hide. Daydreaming climbed into a cloud. Shame scrambled into the deepest, darkest cave. And luck slipped into a cove at the end of the rainbow. And so everyone hid. And Madness managed this time to count to 100, turned around, tripped over laziness because he couldn't be bothered. And then he went off for daydreaming, shame, and luck. And each and everyone was found. Everyone but love. So he went around the Garden of Eden, here and there, and he couldn't find her. But then he had a whisper. And envy and jealousy were talking to each other, because they were found pretty early on. It was so easy. Where would love hide? Lived by the rose bush. Madness went over to the rose bush. He was really excited, and he tried to get in, but then the thorns were scratching his hands and his fingers, and so he got a bit angry. And he went around the Garden of Eden and tried to get in, but he couldn't. So he went around the Garden of Eden again, and he found a big iron pitchfork, and with that he went to the rose bush and plunged it into the rose bush, and then a big shriek. And Madness stumbled back with anxiety and fear at his side, and Love stepped out of the rose bush, covered her eyes with her fingers, and between her fingers was running blood. "You blinded me." Like Madness, he fell on his knee, and he begged for forgiveness. And well, we all know that love forgives anything. And also on that day, Love forgave Madness. And Madness made a promise that he would guide Love until the end of their existence. And from this day on, Love is blind and guided by Madness.